This is the story of Samuel and Saul. It spans the first 15 chapters of 1 Samuel, from the birth of a prophet to the rejection of a king. It is the story of Israel's great transition, from the chaos of the judges to the rise of the monarchy. And at its heart, it is a tragedy. The tale of a man chosen by God who could never trust that choice, whose private fears became public disasters, and whose reign ended before it truly began. It begins with a woman who had no child. There is a man from Ramathaim in the hill country of Ephraim whose name is Elkanah. He has 2 wives. One is named Hannah, the other Paninah. Paninah has children, but Hannah has none. Year after year, this man goes up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh, where Hophni and Phinehas, the 2 sons of Eli, are priests of the Lord. Whenever the day comes for Elkanah to sacrifice, he gives portions of the meat to his wife Paninah and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he gives a double portion, because he loves her and the Lord has closed her womb. A double portion. A husband's love poured out in what he can give. But love cannot open a closed womb. Because the Lord has closed Hannah's womb, her rival provokes her till she weeps and will not eat. Paninah does this year after year. Whenever Hannah goes up to the house of the Lord, her rival provokes her till she weeps. Her husband Elkanah says to her, "Hannah, why are you weeping? Why do you not eat? Why are you downhearted? Do I not mean more to you than 10 sons?" Elkanah loves her, but he cannot understand. He offers himself when she longs for a child. His comfort, though tender, misses the wound. Once when they have finished eating and drinking in Shiloh, Hannah stands up. Now Eli, the priest, is sitting on his chair by the doorpost of the Lord's house. In her deep anguish, Hannah prays to the Lord, weeping bitterly. She makes a vow, saying, "Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head." A Nazirite vow, like Samson before him. But this child will be given freely, not demanded. This child will be surrendered before he is even conceived. As she keeps on praying to the Lord, Eli observes her mouth. Hannah is praying in her heart, and her lips are moving, but her voice is not heard. Eli thinks she is drunk, and says to her, "How long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine." The priest of Israel cannot recognize prayer. He sees a woman's lips move and assumes she is drunk. This is the state of the priesthood at Shiloh. Hannah answers, "Not so, my lord. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief." Eli answers, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him." She says, "May your servant find favor in your eyes." Then she goes her way and eats something, and her face is no longer downcast. Something has shifted. She has poured out her anguish and received the blessing. Faith has taken hold. Early the next morning, they arise and worship before the Lord, and then go back to their home at Ramah. Elkanah makes love to his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembers her. So, in the course of time, Hannah becomes pregnant and gives birth to a son. She names him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." Samuel. The name sounds like the Hebrew for heard by God. The barren woman has been heard. When her husband Elkanah goes up with all his family to offer the annual sacrifice to the Lord and to fulfill his vow, Hannah does not go. She says to her husband, "After the boy is weaned, I will take him and present him before the Lord, and he will live there always." Elkanah, her husband, tells her, "Do what seems best to you. Stay here until you have weaned him. Only may the Lord make good his word." So the woman stays at home and nurses her son until she has weaned him. After he is weaned, she takes the boy with her, young as he is, along with a 3-year-old bull, an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine, and brings him to the house of the Lord at Shiloh. When the bull has been sacrificed, they bring the boy to Eli. Hannah says to him, "Pardon me, my lord. As surely as you live, I am the woman who stood here beside you praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord." And he worships the Lord there. She gives him up. The son she prayed for, the child she nursed, the answer to her anguish. She brings him to the house of the Lord and leaves him there. Then Hannah prays, "My heart rejoices in the Lord. In the Lord my horn is lifted high. My mouth boasts over my enemies, for I delight in your deliverance. There is no one holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God. Do not keep talking so proudly, or let your mouth speak such arrogance. For the Lord is a God who knows, and by him deeds are weighed. The bows of the warriors are broken, but those who stumbled are armed with strength. Those who were full hire themselves for food, but those who were hungry are hungry no more. She who was barren has borne 7 children, but she who has had many sons pines away. The Lord brings death and makes alive. He brings down to the grave and raises up. The Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts. He raises the poor from the dust, and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes and has them inherit a throne of honor. For the foundations of the earth are the Lord's. On them he has set the world. He will guard the feet of his faithful servants, but the wicked will be silenced in the place of darkness. It is not by strength that one prevails. Those who oppose the Lord will be broken. The Most High will thunder from heaven. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth. He will give strength to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed. Hannah speaks of a king before Israel has a king. She speaks of the Lord's anointed before there is an anointed one. Her song reaches beyond her moment into the future of her people. Then Elkanah goes home to Ramah, but the boy ministers before the Lord under Eli the priest. The child Samuel grows in the house of the Lord. But Eli's sons are scoundrels. They have no regard for the Lord. Now it is the practice of the priests that, whenever any of the people offer a sacrifice, the priest's servant comes with a 3-pronged fork in his hand while the meat is being boiled. He plunges the fork into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. Whatever the fork brings up, the priest takes for himself. This is how they treat all the Israelites who come to Shiloh. But even before the fat is burned, the priest's servant comes and says to the person who is sacrificing, "Give the priest some meat to roast. He will not accept boiled meat from you, but only raw." If the person says, "Let the fat be burned first, and then take whatever you want," the servant replies, "No, hand it over now. If you do not, I will take it by force." This sin of the young men is very great in the Lord's sight, for they are treating the Lord's offering with contempt. Eli's sons corrupt the worship of God. They take by force what should be given freely. They despise the offerings of the people. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel ministers before the Lord, wearing a linen ephod. Each year his mother makes him a little robe and takes it to him when she goes up with her husband to offer the annual sacrifice. Eli blesses Elkanah and his wife, saying, "May the Lord give you children by this woman to take the place of the one she prayed for and gave to the Lord." Then they go home. And the Lord is gracious to Hannah. She conceives and gives birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel grows up in the presence of the Lord. Samuel grows. Hannah is blessed, but the house of Eli darkens. Now Eli, who is very old, hears about everything his sons are doing to all Israel, and how they sleep with the women who serve at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He says to them, "Why do you do such things? I hear from all the people about these wicked deeds of yours. No, my sons, the report I hear spreading among the Lord's people is not good. If one person sins against another, God may mediate for the offender. But if anyone sins against the Lord, who will intercede for them? His sons, however, do not listen to their father's rebuke, for it is the Lord's will to put them to death." Eli rebukes, but does not remove. He speaks, but does not act. His sons continue in their sin. And the boy Samuel continues to grow in stature and in favor with the Lord and with people. A man of God comes to Eli and says to him, "This is what the Lord says. Did I not clearly reveal myself to your ancestors' family when they were in Egypt under Pharaoh? I chose your ancestor out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest.